And I want to look at that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
All right.
You fucking retarded scumbag.
I also want to reiterate how deeply sorry Canada is for the situation this put President Zelensky and the Ukrainian delegation in. It is extremely troubling to think that this egregious error is being politicized by Russia and its supporters to provide false propaganda about what Ukraine is fighting for.
Oh, Johnny, did you back the wrong horse? You hose him.
Which one of you on stage tonight should be voted off the island?
What a bitch.
Please use your marker to write your choice on the notepad in front of you. 15 seconds starting now. Of the people on the stage, who should be? I'm absolutely serious.
With all due respect, I mean, we're here, like, we're happy to debate, but I think that that's disrespectful to my fellow competitors.
Nobody wants to participate.
Let's do some questions.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Yeah, but if you become president and you don't like somebody, or if somebody's beating you by 10, 15, or 20 points like we're doing with crooked Joe Biden, let's indict the motherfucker. Let's indict.
We are devaluing American money so rapidly that in America today, you can't even bribe Democrat senators with cash alone. You need to bring gold bars to get the job done, just so that the bribes hold value.
It's all his fault. Him and the woman. But they did not care. They're totally indifferent. All they do is mock me, just like they did the fat fellow. All the time, mocking, all the time. Now, it is Babu's turn to mock. Finally, I will have some justice. Send them away. Send them all away. Lock them up forever. They are not human. They are very bad. Very, very, very bad.
This is for the people. Wake the fuck up. Use your mind. Don't let people tell you the fuck what to think. This is dumb shit. Okay, I'm old dude. I'm against all this name change shit. You know, I'm like supposed to be cisgender, right? Instead of man. But then it's like, oh no, you're cisgender. Fuck you. If you want me to respect your trans shit, then respect my man shit. Same thing with the trans shit. All right, you're a girl. You're a guy, a trans woman. You're a guy. Now, something happened in your groin area. You know this shit is fucked up. You gotta go to the doctor and you got 10 minutes. Go this way, you go to gynecologist. This way is urologist. Which fucking way you going? You go to gynecologist, your ass is dead. Because she said, I can't do shit for you. You gotta go to the urologist. Now that's 20 minutes away now, you dead. Bruh. That's the bullshit. I ain't buying into the bullshit. People talking about believe my shit because I believe it. You
saying fuck that shit?
Yeah, if that's the shit, then I'm your master. So whenever you call me, my pronoun is your master. Or just master. So he said, hey master, yeah, that's it. If you want me to call you her or him and shit.
You don't have to go to hell. You're in hell. This is hell. This is hell. This is hell.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Then strangled them, and finally dismembered their bodies.
Right.
Then do
available.
And homelessness and all that.
And now, the voice you've been waiting for.
There's a secret song at the center of the world, and its sound is like razors through flesh. I'm here to turn up the volume.
I'm kind of retarded.
A lot of people are starting to suspect that maybe they judged Britney Spears' dad a little too harshly. Personally, I'm not as convinced. I'm not saying I don't think she's guano loco. I'm just saying we should take a look at how this actually happened. Here she was, thrust into the spotlight, couldn't handle it and had a nervous breakdown. So she completely lost control of her life and got heavily drugged up. for decades. So there's really just no way of knowing whether or not she would still be doing the kind of crazy shit she's doing now if it hadn't been for that. Anytime you've got anybody acting up and not going along with the program, some asshat psychiatrist finds a way to call it a disorder and says, oh, don't worry, I have pills for that. And we're told to just trust that they know what's good for us. Never mind the fact that not even 100 years ago, if you were too disruptive to society, they would drive a spike into your fucking brain, destroy part of it, call it a lobotomy, and then you're a drooling moron the rest of your life. And that was their treatment. So excuse the shit out of me if I have a little bit of distrust for them. Just because they found new ways of doing it chemically doesn't make it any less barbaric as far as I'm concerned. Oh, you've been sad a lot? Well, you must have depression. Here, take these pills. Yes, there is a possibility of a rare side effect of suicidal ideation and actions, but it's very rare. And meanwhile, the rise in the phenomenon of mass shootings seems to coincide with the rise in prescribing of these medicines. But yeah, I feel bad for what they did to this chick. They did a real fucking number on her brain, and she is never gonna be right. And while I'm on the subject of people who have lost their goddamn minds, they had the second GOP debate on Wednesday.
Ron DeSantis, Lockdown University.
Vivek Ramaswamy, World Economic Forum Business School.
Nikki Haley, Bush War Crime Institute.
Tim Scott, Kissless Virgin Mule. Chris Christie, Golden Corral State.
Mike Pence, Mother's Closet.
Doug Burgum, why am I here?
Unlike the first one, I actually watched this one live. There wasn't really much else going on, and I was morbidly curious, so after watching Celebrity Jeopardy, I decided fuck it. On a side note, if you've never watched Celebrity Jeopardy, I would highly recommend it. For one thing, it'll make you feel smart because this is like Trivial Pursuit Junior Edition where the questions are insanely easy, and it'll make you feel extra smart because half the time these people don't even know the answer to that fucking shit. And it's a good thing to remind yourself occasionally of just how stupid fucking celebrities are. And these are the same people that always seem to have very strong opinions on socioeconomic and political issues. So it's a good idea to remind yourself of why their opinions are worth about as much as a used mattress. But about the debate, have you ever watched a soccer league game of like 5 and 6 year olds? There's very little organization, they all just run towards the ball and kick it in the direction they're trying to go, and it's just a giant clusterfuck the whole time. That's what I felt like I was watching, which made it mildly entertaining in its own sick way. Kind of like watching a NASCAR race that's nothing but crashes. And the whole time I'm watching it, it's just doubly funny because in the back of my mind I'm thinking, none of you even fucking stands a chance and you all know it. And then when Chris Christie did his idiotic Donald Duck joke, I just couldn't even believe how fucking cringy and stupid it was. I immediately knew that that was going to be the highlight of all the highlights. And the best part is, he didn't come up with that on the fly. You know that was something that he ran by his little staffers, and apparently they were such ass-kissing, brown-nosing sycophants that rather than look at him and go, no, they said, oh yeah, that's great, that's a good one. Or maybe they secretly hate him, and were like, oh yeah, that's great. Or maybe they're all just as fucking retarded and out of touch as he is. Whichever one it was, that moment made him the loser of that debate. Obviously, the winner of the debate was Trump. Even American psycho Gavin Newsom said so right after it ended. I'm sure I couldn't have been the only one that, watching this lame spectacle, thought back with a sort of sense of nostalgia to the 2016 GOP debates.
This is a tough business to run for president.
I know, you're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is
real
principled.
tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3, so far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This doesn't do
Here's a guy that buys a house for $179,000. He sells it to a lobbyist who's probably here for $380,000, and then legislation is passed. You tell me about this guy. This is what we're going to have as president.
He's had the gall to go after
the World
my
Trade
mother.
Center came
He's
down
had the
during
gall
your
to go
brother's
after
reign.
my
Remember
mother.
that.
Hold on. Let me finish this. He's had the gall to go after my mother.
That's not keeping
Look, I
us
won
safe.
the lottery when I was born 63 years ago and looked up and I saw my mom. My mom is the strongest woman I know.
She should
this
be
is
running.
not about my...
Take 30 seconds. Let me just, you know, he wants to be a tough guy. A lot of times, you'll have, and it doesn't work very well with
How tough is it to take property from an elderly woman?
Let me talk. Quiet.
How tough
is it? A lot of times, That's all of his donors and special interests out there. So that's what it is. That's what. And by the way, let me just tell you, we needed tickets. You can't get them. You know who has the tickets for the? I'm talking about to the television audience. Donors, special interest, the people that are putting up the money. So it is. The RNC told us we have all donors in the audience, and the reason they're not loving me, the reason they're not loving me is I don't want their money. I'm going to do the right thing for the American public. I don't want their money. I don't need their money. And I'm the only one up here that can say that.
Watching the way he demolished all of them, and Jeb Bush's sorry ass in particular, was what made me realize this is my fucking guy. And for the first time in my life, I registered for a party so that I could vote in a primary, just so that I could vote for him and against Jeb. And that's how I knew that Trump was going to be the winner of the debate he didn't even attend before it even happened. If I had to pick a winner of the people that were actually there, I'd say probably DeSantis. He was getting attacked a lot less because everybody seemed to want to go after Ramaswamy, interrupting the shit out of him left and right. And then right after they got done attacking him, they said, okay, you have 15 seconds to respond. And they couldn't even give him the 15 seconds. 5 seconds into it, 3 different people were interrupting him. It was like, holy fuck. And there was at least a half a dozen times where you had 5 people talking all at once so you couldn't hear anybody. Am I glad that I watched it? Yes, mildly. Was it ultimately a total waste of everybody's fucking time? Absolutely. But I guess we all have our little guilty pleasures, don't we? In the coming months and even years, it's going to be more and more difficult to find those things that make you laugh and smile, but they're important to keep you on an even keel. As inflation inevitably starts to ramp back up, and more banks start failing, and people's finances get harder and harder to manage, there's going to be a lot of people who thought they were pretty okay, and they're just going to lose it when they realize how fucked they are. And the poor people are going to start finding more and more excuses every time a story pops off to go and get them some reparations. Like what happened in Philadelphia this past week. You had a cop shoot a fucking guy and then lie about it, and then all charges get dismissed, so let's go raid the Apple iStore, Foot Locker, and Lululemon. And don't forget all the state-run liquor stores.
Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Yes! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat!
Oh, by the way, the idiot that's streaming this got arrested and charged with 6 felonies. And all those dipshits that ran in the Apple store and got them some new iPads and the iPhone 15 titanium, while reality pulled its dick out and slapped them in the face real hard.
This is crazy! Oh my God, this is crazy! Ain't nothing! Oh my God, all these iPhones! And they still going on! Oh my God!
Oh, what, you didn't realize that those things are controlled fucking remotely? And on top of all the shit we got going on domestically, we're also trying to instigate World War III. A lot more people have started getting worried about this whole October 4th emergency alert system test. But if you are freaking out about it, you should feel stupid. Not because I think something's not gonna happen. I mean, it might. But you should feel stupid that you've gone this far without doing anything to prepare. If you have, then hey, if something goes down, it goes down and you react. But that's the whole point about stacking some extra food and water and, even more importantly, some boomsticks and freedom seeds to be able to protect your resources. But if you're freaking out right now, it means you paid no attention and learned nothing from the pandemic. In March of 2020, a lot of people got caught off guard, and people are in the grocery stores freaking out, ready to shank each other over some shit tickets. And if you witnessed all that, then decided not to go ahead and get ready for the next thing that might come down the pike, then yeah, you should feel pretty fucking stupid. One extra thing I will say that often gets overlooked, and I myself am also guilty of this, I just ordered some. You might want to think about getting some sandbags. Sure, flooding can happen pretty much anywhere. I'm not talking about for flooding. You can fill these up and stack them and make yourself a fighting position, because unlike in the movies, you can't just duck behind a wall and expect that to stop bullets. So you might want to order yourself at least 50 sandbags, and you can thank me later. Oh, and what I'm sure is just a total coincidence, the Russians announced that they're going to be doing a nationwide nuclear drill the day before, on October 3rd. I can't tell you how many times I've told people this. I say, you realize that Russia actually has a civil defense plan? They have bunkers set up for their civilians. The whole subway system in Moscow is set up to double as a nuclear fallout shelter. And the response is usually something to the effect of, they don't have as many as you think, that's a lie. Or, their bunkers aren't as good as they claim. And I tell them, well, it's still better than our plan because we have no fucking plan. Oh, sure, the government has a plan. They got deep underground military bases and the high-level people will be whisked away. But for the multitudes, you know what the plan is?
Go home and die.
Good plan, huh? You remember that PSA they put out in New York City? Out of nowhere saying, oh, by the way, if there does happen to be some kind of nuclear incident...
Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit, okay? So, what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember. Step 1, get inside fast. You, your friends, your family, get inside. And no, staying in the car is not an option. You need to get into a building and move away from the windows. Step 2, stay inside. Shut all doors and windows. Have a basement? Head there. If you don't have one, get as far into the middle of the building as possible. If you were outside after the blast, get clean immediately. Remove and bag all outer clothing to keep radioactive dust or ash away from your body. Step 3, stay tuned. Follow media for more information.
Just go home to your apartment and wait for further instructions. Our government's been doing all this tough talk, instigating and provoking a war with a country that has been preparing to actually win one if it goes nuclear. And we also, by trying to completely isolate them from the world, drove them into the arms of China. And now that the migrant surge has been magically back in the headlines the past week, even though the problem has been ongoing for years, nobody ever talks about all the military-aged Chinese people that are coming across that border. And when you think about the number of shipping containers coming into this country from China, that it would be all too easy to grease the palms of customs people to make sure they don't get checked, how do you know they're not full of weapons systems? Bring in some strategically placed shipping containers, and then you just have a bunch of people walk across the southern border and saying, please help me. And everybody always thinks of some kind of Red Dawn scenario where they're gonna come into the country and gear up and then try to take over. But what if they had a slightly different plan? See, a lot of the military-grade weapons and hardware that we've been shipping off gets lost and resold on the black market. What if the Chinese started buying that shit up, loading it into containers, and then shipped it right back into the US for at a strategic point to open it up and distribute it amongst the US citizens? See, if you were going to send in an invading force, you'd probably have to kill like 100 million people, and you would incur heavy losses yourself. But what if we all just killed each other? What if we had some computer virus take down the internet or the power grid, and then all of a sudden there was people with rocket launchers and fucking hand grenades everywhere? Of course, this is just one possible scenario, but it would be a pretty smart move. You could just hang back and let your enemies do the work for you. But whatever it is that's about to happen, is it just me, or does it feel more and more imminent? Sláinte.
All I have in this world is my thoughts and my words, and I don't break them for no one. You understand? So say good night to the bad guy. 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 Come on. Come on.
Don't fuck with me! Stupid fuck! Look at you now! Look at you now!
Please consider liking, subscribing, sharing this video, or leaving a comment. Because every time you do nothing, Vladimir Putin will shoot another puppy.